This is day 2 of the event. Here we are at Fairfield Halls, where we are welcoming the Archbishop, and everybody's excited to hear what he has to say and share his views on what happened last year in Britain, in London, and particularly in Croydon, where we've had the scene of riots. And there is a wonderful VIP event taking place here. The bishop just swung by, and we were hoping to just take him in here and hold on to him. That was a big fish. But the big fish got away because the press upstairs are pressuring him. And as you can imagine, all of the schedule today has run a little late. But guess what? We have his granddaughter here to welcome you. You will see the man on the stage in a little while. We are still hoping that if the press release him, he'll be able to come down and just say a quick hello before he goes on stage. Yeah, this is Lungi Morrison. Welcome, Lungi. But before Lungi says anything, a quick word from our chairman, Dr. Isaac John.
Welcome to the Conversation for Change, which is a flagship program of the Tutu Foundation UK, which brings together different communities, people from different backgrounds, from different communities, from different religions, and the whole idea is what the Archbishop has been preaching: truth and reconciliation. That our humanity is dependent on each other. We are interdependent. We are not alone. And yesterday at our hospital, when he gave a speech, and that's what he said, that when God created, man, Adam, he was alone. So he said, that's not good. So he created, his partner. So he said, that's not, God wants us to be all alone. He wants us to be in a community. And that's what, is all about, this Conversation for Change. That we are interdependent. And when we dehumanize others, we do humanize ourselves. So that's the message he is preaching, and that's the whole idea of this Conversations for Change, using their Ubuntu approach, which you will hear more when you will go to the main workshop. Welcome to the workshop, and I would say we will have a Lungi, saying something, but enjoy the reception, and this is a good opportunity to meet each other and have networking. And thank you very much.
Sang Monan from South Africa. It's a humble honor to be here. I'm certainly not Desmond Tutu. I have his hat. So it's evidence that he is here. We apologize that the press were a little hasty in getting him to the room above before, and so they're taking a little longer. And so we really do humbly apologize on his behalf. We certainly know that he would absolutely would have liked to connect with each of you before he gives the evening address. And we thank Joel and Professor here for their hosting and gathering of so many special souls, souls in the spirit of Ubuntu, which you have absolutely captured. And so we certainly do hope that you'll continue to support the initiative, support everybody who is working in this process of change that my grandfather speaks about. This morning he spoke about the state of the world is the way that it is. Predominantly we see it as a state of a condition economically, politically, even environmentally. But this morning he reminded us that it actually is spiritual and not so much around denominations or respective, that everybody in their spiritual quest, it's really about getting back to the basics of the fact that we are connected one to another, and that change in economics, in politics, and environment, and even in the household, can only take place when we connect as a people again. So in the spirit of Ubuntu, in the spirit of humanity, in the spirit of compassion and love and service that my grandfather represents and all of you represent, I welcome and thank you so much for your time.
Okay, you've got a real treat now. You've heard of the Tutu Foundation, have you?
Yep.
Yes, okay, great. Well, we have the chairman, Lord Walker, who will just address you for a few moments. We're really grateful to have him. He's the man who leads the foundation in the UK. And great organizations spring from great leaders. I understand that he has a military past. and acceded to the position of general. Is that right?
I'm not quite sure who you're talking about.
And then we have a very special lady, Reverend Umpa Tutu, the daughter of, everybody knows who she's the daughter of, don't we? Yeah, and if you look at her, we see her father, don't we? Yeah. Absolutely. And in the short time that I've got to know her, the spirit of Ubuntu rests within her strongly. So, if we could ask Lord Walker to just address you for a few moments, and then we'll hear from Paul.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming along to support us tonight. It's been a bit of a whirlwind trip, and we have been very privileged to have the Reverend Tutu with her father, the Emeritus Archbishop Tutu, here. He flew in from Cairo.
No.
He flew in from Colorado.
Yep.
He dived into Chertsey. He came to Croydon. He's been to all the seas, and off on Friday he's going to Cairo. So we're very privileged that he found time in his elders' business to come and join us here. And indeed, we're equally privileged to have his daughter with us, coming and seeing what it is that the Tutu Foundation does. And I hope that as a result of tonight, you will all go away with a much clearer idea of what it is that we do, because the description of our work, Conversations for Change, is not something that naturally lends itself to immediate interpretation in everybody's minds, but we hope after the work this evening you'll be able to do that. I also hope that we will inspire you through the presence of our Emeritus Archbishop and his daughter to continue to support the foundation. We are doing a lot of work with the National Health and with all sorts of other people who are giving us an enormous amount of help. We're tiny, we're nearly broke, so anything anybody can do, either to help us in kind, in person, or a donation, will always be very welcome. And I need really to take the Reverend Tutu away very shortly down to join her father in the dressing room before the show starts.
I gather that was a very English way of saying send money. Good evening, all, and I know that by the end of the evening, if you weren't considering sending money, you certainly will want to, because the Tutu Foundation UK is doing some really incredible work in your communities. And with some of your institutions in creating conversations for change and helping to build and create community across all of the things that seem to be so divisive, race, class, ethnicity, religion, etc., etc., etc. And what we discover through this process of Conversations for Change is that there is so much more that unites us than there is that divides us. But it is not only the opportunity to engage in conversation together, but to go beyond the conversation, to actually working together to create real, long-lasting, sustained community and creating sustained activities together. You get a taste of that this evening, and if you want more, there is a website. You can join us in several different ways, but the most important way, send money. Thank you all, and Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and that grace my fears relieved. How precious did peace.